Hello, second graders. Welcome to a new topic in our maths. This topic is estimating length. So let's start with lesson number 1 for our new topic. Let's see what we have. Please open your book, page 509.
Your thumb is about 1 inch long. Use your thumb to find 3 objects that are each about 1 inch long. Draw the objects. From your elbow to your fingers is about 1 foot long. Use this part of your arm to find 3 objects that are each about 1 foot long. Draw the objects.
All right, so we're gonna use new words, inch, which is like a thumb, a length of a thumb, and foot, which is like from your hand to your elbow. So try to find something you have. So it could be a lunchbox, it could be an eraser, could be a button. And of course, you can also look for something bigger like notebook, a book. So this is fun activity that estimating or guessing the length of something. It's varied from person to person, and of course, it depends on the object that you are measuring. So it could be a paper clip, and paper clip comes in different size. So there's small size, big size, and also a pencil or chair if you're using foot. All right. So in this lesson, we'll be learning new words, estimating. We will be using 1 inch and 1 foot and 1 yard. Of course, when the object is big, we're going to use the measurement that it's big and to estimate the length. And if it's an object small, we'll be using the inch. All right, let's start.
Let's learn about units used to measure length. This is 1 inch. The inch is a short unit. Inches make up longer units. There are 12 inches in 1 foot. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. About how long are 1 inch, 1 foot, and 1 yard?
All right, so we will be using 3 measurement units. We have the inch, and as you see, this is 1 inch from the 0 to the 1. That's 1 inch. And then we have 1 foot. 1 foot is 12 inches. And then we have the yard, which is 3 foot.
These are objects that are about 1 inch, 1 foot, and 1 yard. A paper clip is about 1 inch long. A book is about 1 foot tall. A baseball bat is about 1 yard long. You can use these objects to measure. The eraser is about 2 paper clips long. What does it mean that 1 eraser equals 2 paper clips? It means that 2 paper clips end to end are about as long as 1 eraser. An eraser is about 2 paper clips, which is about 2 inches. The poster is about 2 books high, which is about 2 feet. The table is about 2 bats wide, which is about 2 yards. You have learned about 3 units of length: the inch, the foot, and the yard.
All right. And as we also just said, if the object is small, so we're using the smaller units of, or the small units of measuring, like the inch. So eraser, it's a small object, so it could be like 1 inch or 2 inches. Book, it's like 1 foot. So that's the measurement for a book or notebook. Lunchbox. And a poster, of course, is bigger than that. So it could be like 2 feet or 3 feet. It depends how big. And then again, we have the yard. So you can use a yard to measure something, I don't know, a bigger object like a door, a window, or a table. All right. So we're going to go to guided practice. Write the name and the length of an object whose length you know. Then use the objects to help you estimate the length of the object that you've shown or that you have here. So this is a pencil. So object whose length I know. You know the paper clip, because we know the paper clip is about 1 inch. So if you're using a pencil, you want to measure it, you can use a paper clip and you can write down how many paper clip did you use. So here my pencil is about, and then when you use the paper clip, as we said, each paper clip is 1 inch. You can write how many paper clip did you use, 5, 6. All right. We have here the desk. So from, as you see the measurement, from this side to this side, you're using a book, which is a foot. So how many book will give you the measurement between the two bars or the two lengths for the desk. Of course, if you're going to have these items, you can do something like a chair, or you can use a table. For this activity, I just want you to be prepared that always the answer will be vary from different places, because of course it depends on the size of the object you measuring and the unit that you are using it to measure this object. Okay, so this is one of the really easy and fun activities. All right, I'll leave you with the rest of the activity in your book, page 511 and 512. That's it for today's lesson, second graders. Thank you. Hello, second graders. Welcome to a new math lesson. We are in topic 12, lesson 2. The previous lesson, we learned about how to estimate length, and we know that a thumb is about 1 inch, and your elbow to your fingers is about 1 foot. And we learn also that if you use part of your arm to find 3 objects, that's mean about 1 foot long. All right. Today, we're going to learn how to use inches to measure objects. So let's start.
The orange square is 1 inch long. How can you use 1 inch squares to find the length of the line in inches? Measure the line and explain.
All right, so we can use a ruler. If we have the ruler, we're using the side where it says inches, and we can use a paper clip, or as we see the orange square here, it's 1 inch. So we can use anything that measure 1 inch. So we know that it could be your thumb, could be a paper clip, or if you have a ruler. The most important when you measure, you need to start from where the measurement, for example, measurement tape or ruler says 1 inch. So you're starting, and then you count how many. Sometimes it's more than 1 inch, so 1.5 inches, and that's when you estimate. So you go for the nearest inch. Okay, let's watch our video.
You can measure the length and height of an object in inches. An inch is a standard unit of measure. That means 1 inch is the same length on every ruler. To measure the length or height of an object, start from the left side of the ruler, where 0 would be. Next, measure to the nearest inch. Look for the halfway mark. What is the length of the eraser to the nearest inch?
Select your answer.
Okay, so when we say the nearest inch means when it's close to. If I look here, this is like 1.5 inches. So I'm almost 2. So this case, that's mean the nearest inch will be 2. So that's very important. When you start to measure, you start with a 0 and you go all the way where the object ends and look at it. Are you closer to the next inch or before. If I'm closer, like in this case, I know that just I'm almost 1 inch and 0.9. So that's mean I can be 2 inches.
It is longer than the halfway mark, so use the greater number. The eraser is about 2 inches long. If the object is shorter than the halfway mark, use the smaller number. What is the length of the pine cone to the nearest inch?
Select your answer.
Okay, so this is now the opposite. As you remember, the eraser was closer to the second inch was the 2, and it's past the halfway mark where the red arrows here. So it was easy. I can say it's the nearest inch would be 2. But over here, as you see the pine cone, it didn't reach the halfway mark. So that's mean I'm going to the lower side, or the lower inch is going to be almost 1 inch.
The pine cone is shorter than the halfway mark, so it is about 1 inch long. You have learned how to measure the length and height of objects to the nearest inch.
Okay, remember the object you measure. If it's past the halfway mark, that means you're going for the greatest or the higher number. And if it's below or before the halfway marks, so you go into the lower number. Okay, so let's see the guided practice in our book, page 514. So the height of a notebook. Estimating when you just guessing, and you could be closer, of course. So estimating, I estimated as a 12 inch, and you see the arrows, but it's about 11 inch. So I was close. I was just like 1 inch less. So that's when we say estimate, like you figure it out, like I think it's, then you see that number. All right. Over here, we have the length of a pencil case. So of course, this is different from each one. It depends how many you have. So the most important, you're using your ruler, starting from the 0, and you go all the way, and you see, are you past the halfway between the 2 inches? So you're going to the nearest, the highest inch, or the pencil box ended before the halfway in your ruler. So that means 1 inch less. So you first estimating before doing anything or any measurement, and then after that you measure and see were you close to your estimation or not. Again, all the answers will vary because it depends on the pencil box you're using, or the height of it, or which type. Also, for the notebook over here, this is a standard, but sometimes children have smaller one or have bigger one. So try to use the object that you have around you in your class room, or in your on your desk with the object that you used. Okay, the most important that we know that to measure the nearest inch, you have to look for the halfway mark. And if the object is longer than the halfway mark, so we're going to go for the greater number. So if my object stopped past, let's say, 1.5 inches, so past the halfway of the 1 inch, that means it's the eraser will about to be 2 inch long. And if the object you're measuring shorter than the halfway mark, so that means we're going to use the smaller number, like our example when we have the pine cone. All right. And also important that when you use, when you measure, you have to use whatever measurement object you use, or the ruler. Make sure that you your object start from the 0. So you're reading the accurate number. Okay, second graders, I'll leave you with the rest of the activity in your book, page 515, 516. Have fun, and don't worry, as I told you, objects are different from what you have to another of your classmate, or your sibling. So it doesn't matter that your answer will be different than your friend. All right, that's it for today.